Beneath the Rivington Street dump in New York City, an Italian immigrant pauses, pipe in hand, within his makeshift home, a quiet testament to resilience. In Savannah, Georgia, Opier Haven's stereograph Bob and his fiddle captures a musician lost in the soulful strains of his craft. On Jersey Street, Italian immigrant families carve out lives in modest shacks, their spirits woven into the fabric of hope. At Baton Rouge, Louisiana, scouts and guides stand tall for McPherson and Oliver, their weathered faces hinting at tales of a divided land. A family huddles in a tenement slum in New York City, their shared glances reflecting dreams amidst the shadows. On Mulberry Street, three young street urchins cling together for warmth in a narrow areaway, finding solace in their bond. At Fort George Island's plantation, an enslaved black family lingers by their quarters, a mother's embrace cradling stories of endurance. Jacob Riis peers into a tenement flat, revealing a room where every worn corner whispers of survival through hard times. In a New York City doorway, a young girl cradles a baby beside a garbage can, her gaze a fragile light in the urban dusk. Jacob Riis lens finds a Bayard Street tenement, a sanctuary for immigrants, its walls destined to echo in how the other half lives. Around a table in New York City, a woman and children craft artificial flowers, a tin bath below hinting at their resourceful days. Jacob August Riis roams Manhattan's Lower East Side, his camera a silent witness to the struggle etched in every face. A child slumps over a bench in a crumbling tenement, the bricked-up fireplace a relic of warmer, forgotten seasons. A shopper haggles for bread from a street vendor, the bustling Lower East Side alive with the hum of daily life. In a New York cellar, a Jewish immigrant prepares a Sabbath meal, tradition glowing softly in the dim light. From above, 8th Avenue's slum dwellings sprawl westward, a patchwork of lives stitched together in Manhattan's embrace. Jacob Riis steps into a junkman's cellar on New York City's streets, capturing a world hidden beneath the surface. Unemployed men line up for bread, their weary steps a somber rhythm from a time of unshakable hardship. Outside a Kentucky cabin, a poor black family gathers, their resilience rooted deep in the soil they call home. African-American children perch by a railroad in a New Orleans shantytown, watching the world roll by on a dirt road. In a Bayard Street tenement, lodgers cram into a squalid room, 5 cents buying a fleeting spot to rest. Men and children linger outside wooden shacks in New York City, their lives a quiet aristocracy of survival. To seamstresses bend over their work in an Elizabeth Street attic, the Manhattan skyline a distant dream beyond their reach. Aboard the Red Star Line's SS Penland, immigrants bound for New York City wrap themselves in blankets, hope shimmering in the steerage air. In an alley off Mulberry Street known as Bandit's Roost, men loiter, their shadows weaving tales of a rougher life. Men pore over newspapers in the Bowery's reading room, a dime lodging house offering a brief refuge from the cold. Chinese fishermen and their children stand before makeshift homes in Monterey, California, the sea their constant companion. Along Monterey's shore, fishing boats sway as families gather, their lives tied to the tides and nets. A baker's wagon waits by the roadside in 5 points, the scent of fresh bread cutting through the gritty air. At 119 Broome Street, a shoemaker in his apron stitches solace, each thread a story of craft and care. A young boy stands in a tenement hallway, a water pump overhead dripping echoes of a simpler time. From high above, New York City's slums unfold in a stereoscopic view, tenements rising like sentinels of the past. In Hell's Kitchen, carts line the sidewalk near a wooden shed perched atop a mound, reachable only by weathered steps. A woman eyes fish at an Italian pushcart, the crowded streets alive with the chatter of commerce. Bread balances on a tray as a pedestrian weaves through the Lower East Side, a daily dance of sustenance. Women stroll through a shopping district, their search for clothing a thread in the fabric of community life. In St. Augustine, Florida, African Americans stand before a building, their presence a quiet chapter in history. A poor mother and daughter tread the Lower East Side streets, their bond a light in a stage scene of struggle. A bohemian cigar maker labors tirelessly, his hands shaping a livelihood at 13 cents an hour. Jacob Riis captures a schoolroom on the Lower East Side, benches filled with eager minds in humble surroundings. African-American moss pickers rest by a Savannah shanty, Spanish moss dangling like memories of their trade. A boy strums a homemade instrument outside a wooden home, his music a whisper of joy in the air. Tommy, the disheveled shoeshine boy, grips his kid on a New York City sidewalk, his eyes bright with determination. Two ragpicker girls stand at a Baxter Alley staircase, Little Italy's ragpickers row humming with their quiet resolve. Children tumble over barrels in an alley at Godum Court, 38 Cherry Street, a playground of innocence. Mrs. Benoit, a Native American widow, sews beads and smokes her pipe in her Hudson Street apartment, a life richly lived. Under the 47th Street dump, a man sifts through trash in his makeshift home, finding treasure in the discarded. On Bleecker Street, a backlot house leans beside an excavation, whispering tales of a changing city. An Italian ragpicker cradles her baby in a rundown Jersey Street room, her world small yet fiercely hers. A dilapidated shanty sits alone in Shantytown, surrounded by towering tenements like a forgotten sentinel. At Godum Court on 36 to 38 Cherry Street, children pose with barrels, clotheslines swaying above their heads. Women and children cluster outside a log cabin, their lives etched in the rough-hewn wood. Wooden slums climb 8th Avenue, a high view revealing a city of grit and grace. In Hollywood, California, Mesquite Ranch sprawls under the 1880s sun, a frontier dream taking root. For boys munch sugar cane on a porch, their laughter a sweet note in a southern breeze. A native man and his wife pose in a studio, their stillness a bridge to a distant era. Children perch on a ladder by a log cabin, young women below sharing smiles of kinship. In St. Augustine, Florida, children gather for a portrait. Their face is a gallery of captured youth. A family stands by their sod house, prairie grass framing a home carved from the earth. On the Dakota Plains, a woman and her children linger at their sod doorway, settlers in a vast, wild land. Children play near wooden homes as a horse-drawn cart fades into the horizon, tracks marking its path. In Mackerelville, soon to be the East Village, families pose among slums, their lives a prelude to change. A man with a rifle leads an ox cart, children peeking out, their journey etched in dust and determination. Laundry suds bubble in a wooden basin as a boy balances goods on his head, siblings watching nearby. An African-American couple sits outside their cabin, their bench a throne of quiet contentment. In Savannah, Georgia, two men, one dapper in a top hat, rest on chairs, a moment of poised elegance. A young woman holds a notice beside a top-hatted man, their wooden shack a backdrop to mystery. Two souls rest on a veranda in Georgia, bushes framing a cabin worn by time and tender care. Two girls hammer metal in a tenement room, their craft a spark in the dimness of New York City. Boys push wheelbarrows at Poverty Cap's playground, their energy a burst of life on a winter day. Shanties cluster at 102nd Street and 5th Avenue, East Harlem's wood-built haven in Upper Manhattan. A lone wooden home stands at 118th Street and 5th Avenue, a sentinel of East Harlem's past. Slums and tenements rise in a high-angle view, New York City's heartbeat pulsing through the haze. A bearded immigrant sits by a bed in Mulberry Bend, his apron a badge of labor in 5 points. Fish gleam on an Italian pushcart as a woman chooses her catch, the street a symphony of trade. In a Boston courtyard, children chase shadows within tenement walls, their play a fleeting joy. Swing sway at the East Side house settlement, young hearts soaring in a rare moment of freedom. On Ellis Island, immigrants step into the unknown, their dreams carried on weary shoulders. Three African-American women and children pose on a porch, their wooden home a canvas of kinship. A pioneer family gathers outside their mud brick home on the Great Plains, the Dakota wine their companion. A tumble-down shack in Chicago opens its back door, revealing lives shaped by necessity. In a single New York room, a group crowds together, their closeness a shield against the world. A paper gatherer roams San Francisco's Chinatown, Arnold Gentha's lens catching a fleeting figure. John Horton's clock ticks in the deadening, time slowing in a world of stillness and shadow. A cotton sharecropper, born before freedom's dawn, stands in Mississippi, her life a testament to endurance. Dorothy Alana finds an ex-slave and his wife in a decaying Greene County plantation house, their story etched in the walls. Jay and Wilson's stereographed plantation scene. Folks all home brings Savannah's past to life, a family reunited. Little Italy's Mulberry Bend hums with life, each corner a chapter in New York's immigrant tale. A sharecropper in Mississippi, born before the war's end, carries the weight of history in her hands. Children kneel in prayer at 5 Points House, their nursery a beacon in a notorious slum. A tenement room in New York cradles a family, its walls a silent witness to their daily grind. At Mott Street Industrial School, children salute the flag, their voices pledging allegiance in unison. A Jewish cobbler readies for Sabbath Eve in a coal cellar, his family's faith alight in the gloom. Arnold Gente wanders Cuba and Guatemala, his camera weaving tales from distant shores. Freedmen gather by a Richmond canal, their children's laughter a new note in Virginia's song. Uncle Hom and Van, 100 for years strong, sits in Huntsville, Alabama, a living bridge to yesterday. An encampment of shacks rises, laundry fluttering like flags in a Brady album scene. In St. Augustine, Florida, a poor family stands by their home, their portrait a stereoscopic treasure. Cotton fields stretch across the South, hands harvesting a legacy under the sun's watchful eye. Uncle Tony and his bride linger outside their wooden home, a southern love story in stereo. Workers bend over cotton rows, their rhythm a timeless dance in the southern heat. Students of the colored school assemble in Vicksburg, Mississippi, their yard a stage for promise. In Georgia, families pick cotton under a horseman's gaze, plantation life captured in stereoscopic light. Native Americans rest outside a ramshackle house in Steilacoom, Washington, the forest their quiet neighbor. Gentha's lens roams Cuba and Guatemala again, each frame a postcard from a world apart. Another glimpse from Gentha's travels, Cuba and Guatemala unfolding in timeless hues. A third view from Arnold Gente, Cuba and Guatemala whispering stories through his art. Gentha's fourth capture of Cuba and Guatemala, a journey etched in light and shadow. A boy and young man guide a cow-driven cart through muddy streets, their path a rugged tale. Eastern European emigrants crowd the deck of the SS Amsterdam, Francis Benjamin Johnston framing their voyage. A road climbs Squaw Creek Valley near Ola, Idaho, Dorothy Alana tracing a fence from days gone by. Greene County, Georgia, cradles a decaying antebellum house, its silence a requiem for the past. Another antebellum relic in Greene County stands weathered, a ghost of Georgia's old grandeur. Johnny's clarinet player breathes music into the air, a photogravure note from a bygone era. Men in ragged clothes are a poster in the day's orders, the army of Italy calling through time. A thatched house looms behind telegraph lines, people weaving life into its foreground. A family rests by a thatched hut in South America, the 1850s sun casting long shadows. Bourgeon folds in him, Peck's vision, a French memory frozen in early light. Alice Little, Lewis Carroll's beggar maid, gazes with a quiet dignity from 1858. John Dillwyn Llewellyn feeds poor puss, a tender moment captured in the dawn of photography. Bandits roost in Little Italy gathers men in its alley, Mulberry Bend a stage for gritty tales. A clothesline sways before a wooden shack, a tenement backyard alive with daily chores. At 20 for Baxter Street, children and adults fill a courtyard, their lives a dance within stone walls. An immigrant family settles into new quarters, their belongings a map of a journey endured. Boys and girls cluster in Mullins Alley, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, a fleeting pause in play. Inside an Italian family's tenement flat, New York City hums with the warmth of home. Jewish peddlers hawk wares on the east side, their calls a melody in the immigrant chorus. In a Boston alley, children swing bats at a baseball, tenement walls echoing their cheers. Boys pack goods in a room, their small hands shaping a future from a distant past. Alice Austin meets an immigrant and pretzel vendor, New York City's streets alive in her frame. A family in the American South rebuilds life after war, their city a canvas of renewal. Boys and young men study by lamplight at the 7th Avenue lodging house, chasing dreams. Poor African American children lean against a cabin, their stillness a portrait of resilience. At T.B. Williams Tobacco Company in Virginia, men and women process leaves with practiced hands. A laborer in a Chicago shantytown joins the Pullman strike, his home a fragile refuge. Two boys pose in Savannah, Georgia, a stereo view capturing their youthful grace. Young boys leap and tumble in a city playground, 1888 alive with their boundless joy. A cobbler stitches in a New York slum, his squalid corner a testament to quiet perseverance. A sleeping hall in a New York mission cradles the weary, a haven in the urban storm. An elderly woman sews in her tiny, worn home, her needle threading stories of a long life. An Italian mother holds her baby on Jersey Street, Jacob Riis framing their tender bond. Beggars sleep in the cellar of 11 Ludlow Street, Jacob Riis revealing their hidden world. Pupils crowd the Essex Market School, a poor quarter of New York pulsing with young hope. Suits hang in a humble district, their wearers shaping lives from threadbare dreams. A poor New York neighborhood hums with life, its streets a gallery of untold stories. At Poverty Bar in California, gold miners toil under E.P. Vaughan's watchful eye, chasing fortune. Matthew Brady stands with General Samuel P. Heintzelman at Arlington, the Lee Mansion a backdrop. In Havana's Reconcentrados, poor refugees line the sidewalks, displaced by a turbulent tide.